So my intention is to take moving water pictures primarily. Welcome to another vlog. I'm here at the scenic spot of Golitha Falls, East Cornwall. You can see behind me autumn's in full swing. Just over the way, and I'll show you in a bit, is a wooded area of beach, woodland, fast flowing river, some small waterfalls. It's called Golitha Falls, but none of the waterfalls are massive, but it's a good place to see wildlife. So there's birds, aquatic creatures, lots of fungi, magnificent trees, so it's a great place to come and photograph. The only downside is what you can't see behind you, which is there's a cafe there, which is nice, but it does draw in lots and lots of tourists. So we're in the woodland now, moss covered leaves, moss covered trunks, carpet of leaves. So some field notes on fungi. First one is, don't pick and eat any fungi unless you're absolutely certain what they are. Now these fungi are actually a well-known and instantly recognisable common occupant of rotting logs all around the country and possibly all around parts of Europe. It's certainly quite a cosmopolitan species. It's sulfur-tuft fungus, which is poisonous but not deadly poisonous, so still, nonetheless, don't eat it, look at it, enjoy it, and move on and leave it be. So the first scene is a relatively uncomplicated one, as in it's this tree with its magnificent roots, the tree beyond, the two smaller trees with their entwining trunks, which I think are probably holly, and the story shrub around here. There's some colour in the background which you could just about see, a beach. So we're going at 1/4 of a second, f5.6. I've checked the focus. There we go, 2-second timer. So first image, I don't know if that turned out all right. What I think I'm going to do now is I'm going to go into bracketing mode. This is my insurance shot, in case the highlights look really odd, and then I'm going to recompose. I'm going to consider a much narrower crop, just the roots and the bottom of the trunks, for something a bit less cluttered. Okay, so and there's the bracketed images. I'll just quickly review them. So that's the darker one, the middle. Yeah, there's the middle one, the brighter one, plenty of detail in the shadows, and got the polarizer on to give a bit more pop to the colour of the leaves. Even better if we had a little bit of rain, just to give those a little bit of more pop, but hey ho. So I've recomposed, just literally taken that top bit out. As you probably can't see that because of all the reflections. So just that lower part of the trunk and the roots with the other tree behind. On to the next one, and which happens to be right over here. Here's fungi. So, next composition, these three unusual looking fungi, which are split wide open. You can see the grey spore masses, grey yellow spore masses. They're kind of sulphur yellow, quite an attractive colour that complements the green of the moss and the brown of the fallen beech leaves. They're on a beech trunk. I have seen one of these before, but not such prominent specimens of these. So I'm going to try a square composition, and I'm going to try to focus stack 3 images manually. And I've just come to one side slightly, but I've tried to keep the 2 bigger fungi slightly separate. Third one at the top there is still out of focus, even at f9. It's just about coming into focus, but I'm going to focus stack this again. So focusing on the leaf in front of the fungus, I'm going to go to the middle of the image and then the back, and then I think I'll have to change batteries. So self timer on, first image, move the focus point somewhere further back, there. I'm going to put one on the little fungus at the back, and then final one on the further fungus, which is now rather more farther away. So hopefully that should cover all our bases. Again, the polarizer is on for a bit of added saturation. I'll probably alter the colour balance, because actually in reality they look more sulphur yellow than is showed on the screen. So sometimes your camera can trick you. Okay, so that's finished with these fungi. We might finally get to take some pictures of water in a minute. So abandoned mine workings, places riddled with them. In fact, Cornwall is all over. There's lots and lots and lots of them. Well, I finally found a group of sulphur tough fungi that's pretty much unmarked, nicely arranged. There isn't too much light spilling onto them. They're there in the middle of the screen, just beyond the then as we go a bit closer in, you can see that group there in the centre. They're quite symmetrical, almost symmetrical anyway. So set the camera up, and let's get back out to normal zooming levels. So set the cell timer as ever, 2 second cell timer, 1/5 of a second, f9, ISO 200 200mm, so 300mm equivalent. So it's quite a telephoto shot, but I'm doing that to try and keep any distracting background elements out of the image. Yeah, go on, focus for me. Thank you. So there we go. So yeah, here we go. Right, so I've just realised I've neglected to put the polarizer on, so I'm going to stop, put the polarizer on, just check everything and then go again. So polarizer on, so we're now at 1/2 second, f9, refocus on the nearest element. I'll just put that into depth of field check, and also see the little red dots. I think that's adequately sharp, but I may try and focus stack just for security and peace of mind. But let's get the basic shot in first. So here we go. Check the polarizer, see if that's getting the best. I think that's there actually, it's given the best option. About the wonky angle. And I forgot to put the self timer on. Then at 10 seconds too. Right, 2 second self timer. Here we go. Sulphur tough fungus growing on the decaying log, and I'm now going to do a bit of focus stacking. So frontmost bit is probably the cap at the top right hand side. So we're going to focus on him to be absolutely certain. Yeah, just check. You may be able to see the little red marching ants. That shows he's in focus. He, she, it. Fungi are actually not plants, and they're not animals, they're different things. So I'm going to try and focus on that one, then on a middle one somewhere, and then on the background at f9. So first exposure, this focus stack. Focus on that middle fungus. Ooh, no. There we go. Finally on the background areas. Right, there you go. Bob's your elderly male relative. So we're going to try this as a composition with the moss-covered branch as your leading line, trunk to the right, holding the right-hand side in, and with the boulders and tree on the other side of the stream with the golden foliage being the other part of the composition. See if we can make this work. It's slightly doubtful, but let's have a go. There more or less lies our composition. The diagonal branch as the leading line. I'm at 23mm, so about 35mm wide angle, trunk to the right to hold in the composition, tree to the left and some boulders to hold in the left side, some nice golden yellow colours, leaves lying everywhere. We're at a quarter of a second, so without further ado I'm going to take this. So 2 second self timer, ISO 200, quarter of a second, f8, and there we go. Still a little bitty detail in the water, and I think I might even slow it down a bit more and stop down to f11. We're still focused on the branch in front, and now half a second, f11, so just a different variation. Okay, I think that would show a little bit more water movement. Now then, I think I might just tune it down a little bit, because I think there might be a fairly bright highlight somewhere in the distance. Again, so we're now at between 2 and 4, 2.5. I'm quite sure how these things work out. Right, so I think that's more or less it. So as ever, I've forgotten to put the polarizer on, so that's what I'm going to do next. Put a polarizer on and see what that does to the composition. Okay, so polarizer on. Same composition, we're now at half a second, f8. It's just, haven't quite polarised it to the max, it's just a little bit off the maximum, but hopefully we're adding some extra saturation and depth of colour to the rest of the image with the fallen leaves, the moving water and the moss. So without further ado, as I keep saying, I have said without further ado a lot in this image, so I'm kind of hopeful that will turn out alright actually. Hurrah! Finally got to take a picture of moving water, yay! Something I've been thinking about doing for the last 2 days, and I've mostly ended up taking pictures of fungi. So, what could be the final fungus composition is this little group of Mycena species fungi. And we're focused on the smallest fungus, and I'm going to move up and take a couple more images, again for possible focus stacking if required. That's that one. One here in the middle of the image. Yeah. I'm going to focus point up to the furthest one away. So there we go. So that hopefully will work. I'm getting pretty tired now, and I'm starting to get that low sugar shaky kind of feeling. I can see more fungi in front of me, amazingly. I will perhaps go and investigate, but I think this could well be it. Okay, stop here for a second, and I'll wander over and have a look at those fungi, but I think I might call it a day now. It. Goodbye from I was going to say Golitha, but it's Golitha Falls, source of the Foy River, beach woodland, fungi everywhere. So I'll leave you with some images, and hopefully I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.
So while things are playing out, I'd really love you to like, comment, subscribe. And again, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you again in the next one. Please check back for more content. Lots of stuff coming up. Thanks for now. Bye bye.